Yo, yo, yo. What up, peoples? What's going on? Happy Saturday. Man, we got video gaming news for October 14th. And we got spooky community games for this weekend. I don't know exactly what we're playing today. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. We got a few different games that we could be getting into here. It could be a little bit of some Evil Dead. It could be some Ghost Hunt stuff. Could be maybe some World War Z stuff. I don't know, man. We've got a few different games lined up that we're just going to play with the community this weekend, and then on Monday we'll get back into working our way through the rest of In Sound Mind, before we push into some other spooky games for Scaretober. So it's been great so far, man. We're about halfway through it already, man. Crazy. But it's been great. It always is, and we got more bangers to come. It'll be a fun weekend too, man. So hope everybody's doing well. Good to see everybody, as always. Let's go ahead and do what we do to begin our streams off, man. Let's dive into video gaming news for today and see what's going on in the world of video games, man. Let's go. Love that Java. All right. Yeah. Wait. It's done? It's totally complete? Am I being baited? Oh, holy crap. It's done. Yo, and check this out. You know the thing that I've been talking about the whole time that I needed to see happen is happening. Yo, Pinky, what up, dog? Bobby Kotick is stepping down at the end of 2023 as well. Woo-wee, dude. Let's go. All right, man. Yo, we'll dive into this one. They posted a cinematic announcement. Huh? Sick, dude. Yeah, let's this is so we knew it was going to happen very, very soon, and it's hard to tell sometimes with all the different, well, this has been completed. This has been completed. You know what I mean? Like but I was just making sure we weren't being like clickbaited into stuff. But this is and I keep getting kind of, trolled out a little bit about how adamant I have been about the need for Bobby Kotick to no longer be a part of this company. But that is something that I personally felt needed to happen for Activision and Blizzard to turn into something different and maybe respectable again after everything they had been through under the helm of Bobby Kotick. Being bought out by Activision Blizzard, he needed to be gone. And it looks like that is happening. Good stuff, dude. We'll take a deep dive into that. Really, really cool, man. All right, that's good news. Good news. What's up, buddy? What's up, Pinky? How you doing, man? Yo, I like the new emotes. Yeah, they posted a cinematic announcement. We'll have to try to find that too. Yeah, we'll have to try to find that. Playing Core Keeper, how are you liking it, dude? You digging it? Are you playing games with us today? Broski? Still building the base upward. Cool, man. All right. we've talked about basically the way this had to get done. The last hurdle was the CMA over in the UK, and what that basically meant was that what Microsoft had to do to appease the CMA was sell their cloud gaming rights or cloud streaming rights to Ubisoft, which is a weird deal. So for the next 15 years, anything made by Activision Blizzard is like the cloud gaming rights are owned by Ubi. And the weird thing about it is like so up front, Ubisoft had to pay a lump sum for these rights to Microsoft. Then what's weird is that for the next 15 years, Microsoft, and this is in perpetuity too, from what I understand. So meaning anything within that 15 years will continue to be owned for streaming rights wise or for cloud gaming rights wise will continue to be owned by Ubi. After that 15-year period, it'll go back to Microsoft. But weirdly enough, all of that content that Microsoft will be creating underneath Activision Blizzard, Microsoft will also have to license out of Ubisoft, even though it's their own software for cloud gaming. So it's a weird situation, but it's kind of wild, man. But we've already heard from Microsoft and that, you know, we're gonna start seeing a lot of their, which I mean, this just makes sense. We're already gonna start seeing a lot of Activision Blizzard content start hitting Game Pass and other services for Xbox and Microsoft as we move through the end of the year and especially into 2024. That's kind of what they're preparing people for, is be ready for 2024 for it really to start taking place. But we'll continue to flesh that out when we get into the article up here about the it finally being over, dude. And now we just have to see what this is going to mean for the rest of the industry and what Microsoft's going to do with it. Okay. Cool. Be a downer, dude. Whatever. I'm just playing, bro. Yeah, I mean, you know, I was just going through. Yo, Davey, what's up, buddy? I was just going through some of the games that I already had in my Epic library and stuff, and I was trying to get recommendations from other people and things like that. I knew that if I had them in my Epic library, a lot of other people might have had them as well. You know me, dude. I'm just always trying to find games, and right now it's trying to find spooky games to fit the vibe. So, or you know, just fun, spooky, whatever for multiplayer, and trying to find those kinds of games that other people might have too. I don't want people like breaking the bank and having to like buy games just for like one weekend to play or something like that. So just trying to find games that people might be able to jump into and play around with and have some fun with and stuff that they could potentially already have in their libraries and everything, or free to play games or whatever. So that's all it's really about for me, man. But I get it. Yep. We talked about this yesterday. PlayStation's Project Leonardo, you know, their controller for their accessibility controller. It just feels like another way for them to like make money off of people instead of trying to give people an in for gaming. You know, people have to pay even more for it than a regular controller and stuff. It doesn't sit real well with me. TF2 blog Team Fortress 2 update released. Pinky. We'll pull it up. Pinky's our resident TF2 player, but he's taking a break. He's taking a break right now. But we'll still see what's up with the patch there. Davey, how you feeling, buddy? Yeah, I know. Getting ready to leave for work? No, Davey. Word, buddy, word. AMD's teasing new processors that could make for some powerful new gaming notebooks. Well, we'll see. If they release processors that actually fulfill this promise, then we'll hit on it. But until people actually get their hands on something like that and it you know, fulfills that kind of promise, it's, you know, seems more like what a lot of these, there's always the promise from hardware manufacturers of being the next biggest, the latest and greatest, and you know what they're going to be able to do with it and stuff. And until we actually get the hardware in our hands and into science of independent benchmarkers and stuff like that, you know, it's not worth really diving into, to be honest, in my opinion. Dude, what is going on with my search? Why is this being so weird? All right, hold on, man. I'm afraid, so I had that in there initially. We've been getting throttled with a bunch of game is hard website stuff again. So I tried to take it out, but it started messing up the search, it felt like. What's going on, dude? Why am I not getting flipping pages in? Bro, what is happening with my browser? It's all wonky. Hold on. I'm just getting the same crap over and over and over. What is this, dude? Feels good. Hold on, let me try something real quick. Google's being really, really weird this morning, dude. Feels odd. That didn't really help much. One second, I'll change my scene back. I'm just checking some things real quick. There is a search setting called continuous scroll. Bro, I don't even mess with my search settings. Why would it be like, why would it auto to that? I haven't even like, what the crap? Yeah, what the crap, dude? Yeah, maybe Google search automatically did it or something through like Firefox. Yo, thanks, dude. I didn't even realize that was like a setting in there. But yeah, I found it. Okay, hold on. Let's see now. Still though, we're still getting really weird results today. Let me... see here. It's still doing it though. Jesus Christ. This is terrible. I don't know. I'll have to mess with it later. We might just have to go over to our other search video gaming news and see if we get some better stuff. Might just be a bleak day too. Sometimes it happens on the weekends, man, but it's just the search got real weird, dude. Let me see this. I even turned continuous scrolling off, and it's still not. It's still just going more results. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's weird. It's not usually like this, but we'll just, that's not it. We'll just go with it, dude. It's whatever. It is what it is for today. I'll have to do a little bit of messing with the browser and stuff later on today after the stream and see what's gone wonky with it. What am I missing? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's fine. All right, here. Let's get back in it. I don't know what's going on, dude. Oh, my bad. That there. So still, I mean, it's turned off now in the settings and it's still doing continuous. So I don't know, dude. Not sure. Weird, dude. Let's go. Let's look at our other search. Yeah. What is this? Bro, I knew they were going to do this. God, I hate Bloomberg. Get wrecked. What was the name of that game? Let's pull this up. What is the name of this? Chance of Sonar? Have you guys heard about this? What is this? Bloomberg loves to like block you out from reading anything if you're not subscribed to their. What is this, dude? All right, we'll take a look at this. Dude, overwhelmingly positive? Interesting. Adventure, single player, colorful puzzle, indie. All right. I can dig it. Yo, you know of this? Probably because puzzle game, huh? Yeah. Kind of figured. Saw it before it was released, yeah. Apparently it's very, people are loving it right now. Bro, what is going on? I got to take a look at what's happening here. So it's a weird search day, man. Lego's latest crossover should lead to a video game too. Oh. Should. We'll see. Ubisoft details their Ubisoft Plus plans for their Activision Blizzard games, though they'll be getting in this deal. We'll take a quick peek at that too. By the way, dude, Epic's free games. Sorry for the delay there in the new stuff. There's just some wonky stuff going on in the search. Dude, I haven't messed with any of the settings in my browser or Google's search settings or anything like that either, and it's just real weird this morning. So I don't know if some updates happened that just jacked some stuff up or what, but I'll take a look at it today. Trying to make sure we're good to go for tomorrow. Blazing Cells and the Cube Ultimate Bundle are free right now. You can get these games right now for free. All it takes is a couple of minutes of time. It's a no-brainer. Grab them. And then as of October 19th, which is in about 5 days, those games will no longer be available, and you'll be able to get Eternal Threads and The Evil Within. Banger of a game, dude. For free on Epic, just in time for Halloween too. Amazing. I believe you, dude. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah. We'll pull it up in a second. Look at it. I just want to wait till we get all our articles up, and then we'll pull that game up and look at it too. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of games you don't have on wish list, right? Don't you have like 700 plus games on your wish list, dog? I would just assume that most games I come across that would be wish list worthy, you probably already have on a wish list, bro. I just kind of assume that. Yeah, bro. PlayStation Plus next free download is one of the best. All right, let's take a look. Disco Elysium is what I think they're talking about here, dude. And Disco, they've got a few good games on PS Plus this month. They've got some others that I would say, like for instance, like Gotham Knights. If you've been wanting to play Gotham Knights, I've recommended people not pay full price for that game and play it on a subscription service, so now's your chance. But I would not be having, high expectations of what you're going to get out of a game like that. But they've got some bangers on PS Plus this month too. Disco Elysium. They've got like Alien Isolation. You got some other good ones on there too. Yeah, ordered, bro. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, cool. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, yeah. I don't know what's up with my search today, dude. I might need to switch over and start trying out some of the Opera GX browser stuff, dude. I'm interested in it. I've gotten so comfortable with Firefox over the years, But there's some other stuff that I would need to look into to see. There's some other stuff I use, and I would need to see how it would integrate with Opera GX before I decide to switch over. Oh, wow, dude, check this out. Best Buy is reportedly planning to stop selling physical media as early as Q1 of next year. Spider-Man 2 preload size. Let's just take a quick peek, see what we're talking about here. 86 gigs. And Sony's recommending having roughly 100 gigs available. You always want to have a bit of a buffer, you know what I mean, above the recommended, because you need unpacking. You're going to probably have some patches come in and stuff day one, things like that. So that's what you need to know, man. Spider-Man 2 install size 86.2 gigs. Prepare to have roughly almost 100 gigs worth of space available for the installation of that game. All right. Yeah, let's go with this one. This comic book, that's the Best Buy one. Because this, yeah, let's go with that. Excuse me. Netflix's video game side hustle remains a head scratcher. Yeah, I don't think that their strategy for getting into the gaming industry was a bad one necessarily, but they need to start progressing better. They need if this whole like ploy for their mobile platform, you know, is like, let's get some games into our platform, and they did that. They've got some really good games in there and stuff, but making it to where only people can only play it on their Netflix account on mobile is a terrible play. You should be able to play those games on your Netflix account, whether you're on a desktop application, whether you're on mobile application, whether you're on their website on a desktop or laptop or whatever. You know, you should be able to play those games like seamlessly that way. And they don't really have that fleshed out, man. I think they're working on it, but it should have been that way a long time ago. And we know that they've got development, you know, studios under their thumb now. You know, they've bought some development studios where they're trying to get like AAA games pushed out and stuff. But and that's not, to be fair, you know, some of these outlets are going, oh, well, they've been in the games industry for 2 years now. What are they doing? But everybody knows, dude, that AAA games take at least 4 to 5 years, at least nowadays, if you're going to make a legitimate AAA game. So what are you expecting in 2 years? You know, do you want another Gollum? You want another Gollum game, or do you want Netflix to actually do something decent? Because I'm sure Netflix knows that if they're going to make something AAA, you know, in the AAA realm of games and have their name slapped on it, they need to be bringing quality to the table, you know, and it takes time. So they've got to have that. They've only been in the industry doing gaming stuff for 2 years now. It's only been a year since they announced having, you know, production of big budget games, you know, coming our way. So we probably shouldn't expect to see anything from them for the next probably 3 to 4 years on the big budget scale of their own production of games, you know. It's weird to me how people address this kind of stuff. It's like they don't understand the way the industry works or something, you know. What is video game addiction and how to prevent it? What is this song, dude? What were we listening to? Time to Sleep? Yeah, I think it's just gonna be a little bit bleak on the news today, man. Which is okay. It happens. Yo, Pinky, we got a new montage, Doug. I'll run it in between news and gaming, but if you haven't gotten to see it, I need to. Did I post it in the Discord? I don't even know if I posted it in the Discord, dude. I meant to. I don't think I did though. Crappers, am I? Yeah, I'm a dingle, dude. I didn't even post it in the Discord. I need to post it in the Discord. Check it, bro. Did you already see it? Yeah, you saw it. Oh, okay, cool. Right on. Yo, did you like the sweep the leg I got in there? Yeah. Bro, the leg sweep, yeah. I figured you'd like that, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I figured you would like that one, bro. Yeah. It's always nice when I get some good clips that have to do with like playing games with you know, other people and stuff to throw in there, or just good interactions and stuff, you know. Spider-Man 2 is so expensive, I'm giving up gaming. Wait, what? Wait. Yo, we have this discussion a lot, right? What is an appropriate amount of money for everybody's gonna feel a bit different about this. I have my own kind of standard that I feel is appropriate for like a AAA game price tag. But I'll tell you, it's not 15 to 20 hours. If I'm paying 70 bucks, 60, 70 bucks for a game, I expect more than 15 to 20 hours out of a game. That's for flipping sure. Especially whenever, you know, you can take a look at there's so many indie games in the industry that you pay roughly $20 for and you get 60, 50, 60 plus hours out of, you know, of just primary content. That's not additional content, you know, and it's banger content. Or I mean, even you don't leave out the very rare, you know, good AAA dev, somebody like Tango with a $30 price drop, or a $30 price tag on a shadow dropped game like Hi-Fi Rush. You know, that game we spent a good chunk of time in that game, and that game was only 30 bucks, dude, from a AAA studio. So we're gonna read this, we'll talk about this, and we'll pull up how long to beat. I don't know if they'll have definitive information on how long to beat yet for Spider-Man 2 because this game's not even officially out yet, but a 15-hour campaign, if that's true. I heard 15 to 20 hours, and then there's plenty of side content. But I think that a 15 to 20 hour main storyline is still a bit bleak, dude. I think that it would feel a lot better to have like a 30 to 35 hour. I think people are going to feel better about the spending the amount of money they do for a AAA price tag, 60, 70 bucks to get that kind of content. But 15 to 20 hours feels pretty bleak in my opinion. But we'll flesh this out. We've talked about that kind of thing a lot. Oh yeah, that's cool, dude. Yeah. Hit me with it, dog. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, because I just hit the end of this anyway. So just give me what you got. I'll pull it up and we'll see what they are. If I've already hit on them, then it's cool. We just probably won't dive into them. But if there is anything worth hitting on, then we'll take a look at it, man. What we got? What we got? I'll try to make sure I get the this whole issue fixed. The breach. We talked about that yesterday from Shadow. Yeah. Apparently, so Shadow is like a they provide a basically software as a service for gamers where you use, you know, it's basically utilizing virtual PCs, right, to game on and everything. You can sign up for a software as a service, and they got hacked. They had a bunch of customer information that was taken. Shadow saying that it was customers' full names, their birth dates, some maybe banking institution stuff, but not bank like account information, no bank numbers and stuff. But they've already fixed the issue, the vulnerability. But that the info is being sold on the kind of the dark web and everything right now. So there's a bunch of gamers and customers that got basically their information taken from Shadow's accounts and is being sold on the dark web right now. So feels bad. It is I think the gist of the PII, the personal information that is being sold out, is some stuff like date of birth, maybe addresses, and first and last name, and maybe even like banking institution or something, but no specific banking information as far as account numbers and stuff. Yeah, it's still a lot. It is still a lot. Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. We came across an article. And so it feels bad. It feels bad. And it's out there. They're trying to sell it on the dark web right now. Yep. Feels not good, dude. So if anybody, my recommendation is this, you know, if you've used Shadow's services, their website and their services for gaming and everything, the best thing you can potentially do is probably go ahead and take a lot of your accounts, things like that. Probably, you know, reset your passwords. Make sure you have two-factor authentication set up on all your accounts that you can. I recommend people do that from the get-go. A lot of people don't. Two-factor authentication is a great way to try and prevent people from stealing your accounts in the first place. And what you might need to do for a little bit is, you know, there are ways where you can get like monthly recurring, it's or just buy into like credit monitoring, credit checks, that way, something like that. It doesn't need to be something super expensive, but something that can keep track of your credit score and make sure that nobody's stealing your information and your identity and stuff, and getting credit under your name. You can even lock down your credit. So if anybody does try to get credit under your name or access your like credit accounts and stuff, it won't let them because you have locked it down. There are things like that you can do. So anytime I think that you know you've been involved in a breach of your own personal information, it's kind of appropriate to do those kinds of things, take security measures and protect yourself. That's my recommendation anyways. Take it or leave it, but it does feel bad for all those people whose information got taken from that breach. What else we got here, dude? Gaming earbuds. Oh, Sony stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we didn't hit on this yet. Yeah, I'm not going to dive into the Sony earbud stuff. Just know Sony's coming out with some new gaming earbuds. Yeah. But I will pull this one up, dog. Yeah, this is kind of wild. I heard about this. Rocket League's going to remove player-to-player item trades in December. That's always been a big part of that that game and that economy, man. So we'll pull that up. What is this? Oh, yeah, that's probably a good one to talk about, too. Yeah, I love seeing Fran Drescher up here doing work, dude, for SAB-AFTA, dude. That's cool. So we'll talk about that real quick. We're probably getting a strike in the gaming industry. If people didn't know, that's what this is going to be about for a lot of the entertainment side, like actors, writers, voice actors, that kind of thing in the video gaming industry. There's a lot of those people that work in the video gaming industry, and like TLDR, the deal that had been in place had been there since like the mid-2010s. It was up for renegotiation in 2020. It got extended to like basically to like right now. It got extended to like 2022 and then extended another year. And a lot of it I think had to do with the pandemic, which is why it kept getting extended. But now they're like trying to renegotiate for all the workers, and the big businesses are not wanting to compensate accordingly, apparently. So it looks like we got a strike on our hands, which means there's probably going to be a lull in video game development for a little while they figure this out. But we'll read about this, okay? Thanks, Piggy. Yeah, that's kind of wild. I skimmed over this yesterday. I didn't really hit on it in the news, but I did see this. CDPR used AI to include a deceased actor's voice in Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. Honestly, dude, I think that's dope. I think it's cool. I think it's cool to like have a bit of a homage to this individual that was supposed to be part of the game in the first place, and to be able to still incorporate them in the game, so that like maybe the people that cared for that individual can like maybe go play the game and still hear them and feel like they can, I don't know, connect with that character a little bit through that voice, even though it's not, they know it's not them saying those lines, but it's still their voice. It's their voice, so I think that's kind of cool, it's kind of neat. But it does bring up a scary premise too, right? There's a lot of there's I think what this does is brings to light where cool things can be done with quote unquote AI. It's not real AI. What people keep referring to AI in the video gaming industry is not real AI. It's not a sentient, self-thinking, self-learning being or piece of intelligence. You know what I mean? That's not what it is. But people keep referring to it as AI, which is weird to me. I don't understand why that is. But it does bring to light and to the forefront of us being able to address where some of this is cool and some of this cannot be cool, which is what technology always has been. People can use it for good, and we do, and then there are definitely people that use it for bad, and they definitely do. So we'll flesh this out. Cool. Thanks, Piggy. Yeah, the deal for the cloud gaming rights, I've already kind of touched on that, and I've touched on it a lot in the past, so I won't bring that up. If anybody's interested, if you don't know, this is basically what it comes down to. The cloud gaming rights, the last hurdle for Activision Blizzard, you know what, dude? I'll talk about it whenever we get to the article about them finally completing the acquisition, okay? And I'll talk about it there. What is this? Controlling a colony of ants. I heard about this. We'll pull it up real quick. You know what this gives me vibes of, though? There was a game back in the day called SimAnt. This is going to be well evolved beyond that. But there was a game I played back when I was really, really, really young called SimAnt. And I loved it. It was super dope. You could get killed by like ant lions and lawnmowers. And it was all about like trying to help your colony survive, dude. And expand. Eventually your colony got big enough and it was thriving enough that you'd be like, all right, it's time to like move on and go start a colony in another place or whatever. You know what I mean? It was kind of wild. What was the other one in here? Yeah, we've got the AMD anti-lag feature stuff up already. That was the first article I had for the day. Where is that? I'm tripping, Doug. Yep. This is actually shout out to Ferret, dude. Ferret hit me up with this. Apparently he was up doing Destiny raids last night after midnight or something because he shot this article to me at like 12:30 in the morning, dude. That's probably why he's not in here right now. He was up too late, dude, playing flipping Destiny raids probably. But yeah, so we've got this up and we'll talk about this too. Yeah. Let's get this random mode in here, and then we'll dive into these articles. Thanks, Pinky. I appreciate the help this morning, dude. I don't know what's up with my browser, but I've got a couple of things up from yesterday we did talk about because I wanted to show them to my son, and I forgot. There's a new Dragon Ball series officially on the way. Set for 2024, called Dragon Ball Daima, featuring kid versions of Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, and loads more fan favorite characters. This is not gaming news, but my son loves flipping Dragon Ball, dude. And if you guys do take a look, that's not gaming news, but this is gaming news, which we hit on yesterday as well, which is Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour returns in the beginning of next year. So it is July 26th through the 28th at Los Angeles Convention Center. It'll feature things like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Dragon Ball Super Card Game, Dragon Ball Legends, and Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle. As well as some other stuff, you know. So I'll link this for you too. We hit on this yesterday, but I still had it up because I need to show my son. So if you're a Dragon Ball fan, there's a couple of things for you right there. All right, let's dive into this one. We talk about this sentiment a lot, man. I love coffee. I need a liter of coffee, Pinky. If you could just hop on that for me, bro. So let's yeah. So that'll work. Spider-Man 2 is so expensive, I'm giving up gaming. You know, this comes on the heels of what we saw happen this year in the gaming industry, of the price of games rise by $10 in the AAA price tag of retail, video game retail. And just a couple of weeks ago, we covered an article, which I will link for everybody right now, where Capcom CEO basically said we need customers to start paying even more for games, you know. Oh, okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, Pinky, yeah. I'll just like, let me know when it's in there, and I'll pick up my keyboard and I'll just suck it out. Yeah, dude. So there's that link to the article we hit on a few weeks ago about Capcom CEO talking about how they need consumers to be paying even more money than what consumers already do. And for me, you'll see if you watch that article, that clip from the news segment where we talk about that, flesh that out. That was a disgusting thing for me to hear from Capcom, especially on the heels of them releasing Exo Primal, which was an absolutely disgusting ploy for monetization. a AAA price tag game where that's all it was. It was a very, very, very repetitive game that it was just riddled with monetization, you know. Okay. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Doug. So it was disgusting to hear that. You know, this is just another, I think, piece of the puzzle that us as the consumer have to always take into consideration here when you're talking about AAA developers, which is, and everybody respectively is going to feel a little bit different about, are you getting what you're paying for? Are you getting what you're getting in your gaming experience for a AAA game? You know, are you getting what you're paying for that piece of software, content wise, performance wise? Because we know quite often on the performance side of things, games get released as a hot piece of garbage nowadays anyway. So, you know, if it releases as in a terrible performing state, how are you supposed to even be able to tell what the content's like, right? But still, even if a game does release, and let's just go along the premise of a game releasing on a fairly polished performing state, as they should, and being solid content wise as well, you know, what is a respectable amount of time in the length of a game to justify spending $70 on it US and convert that to whatever the price tag would be for your own region. It's a difficult thing, I think, for a lot of people to come to an agreement on. Everybody's got a different value for what that means for them specifically, and how much, you know, game time they should be able to get out of spending that much money on something, right? I'll tell you personally, if I'm going to be spending $60 or $70 on a game, I feel like I should be at least getting 35 to 50 hours out of that game, depending on how good the content is, you know. Maybe a little bit less if the content is just mind-blowing, you know. But I also think that there's something to be said for very, very good replayability, the ability to do in-game grinding, new game plus, some kind of replayability, you know, so that people have the option to dive back into the game with maybe some newer some additional content, something to that effect. Every genre's got a bit of a different way which you can incorporate that kind of thing, but you know, if a game is sitting at 15 to 20 hours at a $70 price tag, that's a rough one for me to swallow. I don't know, man. 30K plus hours of content for one. You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. So let's read this real quick. So Spider-Man 2 is so expensive. I'm giving up gaming readers feature. Spider-Man 2 gaming is not a cheap hobby. It definitely is not. A reader and recent father of twins revealed how the debate over the price of Spider-Man 2 has been the catalyst for him to sell his console. I've seen a lot of arguments back and forth about the price of Spider-Man 2, whether it would be better value for money if it was longer, or if it's fine to pay $70 or 70 pounds for a game that only lasts 15 hours. Well, for me, that's kind of missing the point. Having recently become a dad to twins, I suddenly find myself so short of money. The thought of spending that much on a video game isn't something I can even consider. Again, everybody's got a bit of a different situation, because somebody that's got a newborn kid or kids, not only are you probably going to be spending a lot of money already on your children, but your time's going to be kind of limited too, right? So that's going to play into this. But when you do escape, you want to be able to get a nice escape, which was what gaming is for most of us, right? Naturally, I haven't gotten much time either. Yeah, I called that one, didn't I? But I should have been able to fit in a short 15 plus hour campaign, as I have been able to find the odd hour or two of quiet to indulge in those games. I do already have, but I can't justify the cost, not with all my responsibilities at the moment. I I realized that I could try and get a physical copy, beat it, and sell it, but the whole argument over whether the game is worth the money or not has made me realize that video games are just too expensive nowadays, and this is probably the time to stop spending what little remaining personal cash I have on them. Here's the thing. This is also a premise that's going to be gone very soon. I mean, in the PC realm, physical games have been something of the past for how many years now, right? Console gaming has been much slower to embrace this, transition into the digital realm of content. But it's inevitable, it's happening, and it will fully be there in the not too distant future. And that is another aspect of what these developers have to understand, is that there was at least something that people were able to do with physical copies. If they were like, well, it seems kind of expensive, but there were a lot of people that were like, well, for me, I've always been a collector. I've never sold my games off. I've always held on to all my titles. I've never had the heart to part with my games, I just can't do it. There are a lot of people out there that don't see it that way. And they've had that kind of out, if you will, where it's like, it seems expensive, but what I'll do is I'll buy it, I'll beat it, and I'll sell it back quick so I get quite a bit of my money back, That's not going to be a play moving forward. That's going to be a something that people aren't able to do anymore. You reach a limit like this, you realize that something has to change. The things you used to spend time and money on. I need to turn off this music. My bad. let me turn off this music real quick. The name of this song's sick, by the way. Graveyard Hustlers. You reach a limit like this and you realize something has to change. That the things you used to spend time and money on when you had no responsibilities are just not sensible anymore. I'm not going to accuse Sony or anyone else of being greedy or unfair. I understand why game prices are going up, but for me, it's reached a limit where I just have to say no. Do you? Because I quite often don't understand why they're going up when they are constantly sucking money out of us in different ways, right? People look at this as just the only way they make money is on the upfront retail of their games. That's not true. They have found plenty of other ways over the years to make their extra money without needing to raise prices. You got to take a look at this critically. And, don't get me wrong. Video game development is becoming more and more expensive for sure. But it also, you want to talk about how expensive video game development is for AAA games. You also have to talk about you've got to do a good job at it. You can't be releasing half-ass production games and duping people into buying crap products either, which is what a lot of these developers do. And that's not fair to us as the consumer either. But they do it all the time, So for me, it's reached a limit where I just have to say no. It's not just the games, though. Spider-Man 2 is really just the straw that broke the camel's back. Costs what it does, but then you've got all the other games I'd be interested in this year, like Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Alan Wake 2. On top of that, talk of the Switch 2 and PS5 Pro. Dude, if you've already got a PS5, you don't need a PS5 Pro. Why would you need a PS5 Pro if you've already got a PS5, dude? This is the thing that I don't understand. This is where I see, okay, if you already have a PS5, I don't see any reason for you to be going for a PS5 Pro. If you don't already have a PS5 and they come out with a PS5 Pro and you've been wanting one, then maybe it makes sense to go for the more modernized version. But if you already have a PS5, is it really going to be worth the price to buy into another console that just has a little bit of an hardware upgrade? I don't really see it, dude. Which we'll have to wait and see what the PS5 Pro would potentially have in it. But man, that's for me, that's a bad mindset for people to have, especially when somebody's already talking about how they feel like spending $70 is too much on a video game, but you already have a PS5 and you're talking about wanting to buy a PS5 Pro instead. That doesn't make sense to me, dude. The PS5 will play anything that the PS5 Pro would. What? Everything's just becoming too much. Expense piled up upon expense. So here they are talking about money again, but you've got a PS5 and you're talking about potentially needing a PS5 Pro. It seems like you're a bit backwards here, man. I realize I don't have to get any of these things, but I think it's best for me to decide not to make a clean break before I'm tempted to carry on, and my lack of willpower keeps finding excuses to get just one more game. Yeah, dude, exactly, bro. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, man. I will hopefully come back to gaming in a few years' time. And while I intend to sell my newer consoles, I'll keep the older ones to play some of my favorite retro games. I've been thinking, though, about what might have convinced me to carry on. If Sony had a true equivalent to Game Pass, then, bro, I've been saying this for a while. If Sony had a true equivalent to Game Pass, that might have made a difference. I've never been a fan of Xbox games, but if I could have played Spider-Man 2 for no extra cost day one, that would have been mighty tempting, even if subscriptions are getting more expensive all the time. That is, unless I don't understand where PlayStation gets off. Like, they just raise the prices of their subscription service like 25 to 30% too. Why? They don't have any reason to, other than the fact that they came to the conclusion that they could raise prices and they had enough people locked into their platform alone that would pay it, that they would get away with it. Because they've only had PS Plus for a little over a year now on almost the same kind of level as what Game Pass is. But the thing that will always set them apart, and I talk about this all the time, is that Game Pass does day one releases. And Sony has been very public and open and adamant about the fact they will never do that. And I think eventually they'll have to. But because Microsoft's too progressive, they're pushing the envelope of showing people what they should get if they're buying into services like this. And Sony doesn't want to relinquish control of doing things the way they always have. And I think Microsoft is showing people a better experience as a consumer where Sony's not, to be fair. I really do feel that way. Not maybe all the way across the board, but quite often in a lot of aspects. So look, I think that what this comes down to, and I've given this example a number of times. If you take into consideration there are certain developers that have gotten pretty good at, I think, balancing the main storyline or main quest line content for their games, where you feel like you're getting an appropriate amount of content out of the game if that's all you play, right? So to be fair, I think Spider-Man 2, from what I've heard, you're supposed to get 15 to 20 hours of the main story. And then there's plenty of side content that you can keep diving into. But that still feels bleak to me for a $70 high AAA production game for story content. 15 to 20 hours is gone quick. And there are some other studios, and I'll give you like CDPR is very good at it. Bethesda's traditionally very good at it, where they give you a nice amount of mainline story content, main game story content, where you're talking probably 30 to 40 hours average in their games. But there's a plethora. There's this entire other side part of the world that you can continue to dive into if you want more gaming out of it. If you fall in love with the game outside of the main quest line, you can just keep doing more and more and more and get a ton of hours out of the game if you want. But I think that is one of those kinds of recipes that AAA developers have to understand, if they want people to pay these premium prices for games, you have to have a pretty good balance between, like, giving people the main story content that doesn't feel too bleak and too short, but doesn't feel too long either and too drawn out. Make them feel like they're getting their money's worth, and give them the option of having plenty of other content to dive into if they want it as well. Whether that be additional content in a big world, or replayability, or in-game grinding stuff, whatever. But I think a 15-hour story on a $70 game feels pretty short. I would agree with that. Uh, and back into the talk about physical media, I mean, even retailers aren't wanting to deal with it anymore. Look, I mean, Best Buy confirms it's ending sales of most physical media. Best Buy is ending sales of physical media and TV shows, but not video games. Best Buy has confirmed it's ending sales of most physical media following the report service yesterday, claiming exactly that. If you play video games, whether it's on Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox, then you aren't impacted by this change in strategy, as Best Buy has confirmed it will continue to sell physical video games both online and in store. What it won't be selling going forward is physical media of TV shows and movies, including both Blu-rays and DVD discs. This makes sense, but don't fool yourselves. The next thing that they will quit selling will be physical video games. It won't be like tomorrow, but it's coming, man. And people have to understand it. I know why physical video games are still a thing for console. And there are a number of different reasons. I've talked about it. There's the whole part of it's nostalgia. There are a lot of us gamers that have just always grown up being a part of the physical media world, having cartridges and discs, and it's hard to give that up. And a lot of us, we enjoy that. So some of us have maintained physical collections because we're partial to that, and I understand that. I do. There's also the collector's aspect to it. There's something about the collector's editions, buying into that and having the physical media with it. It's weird. It feels weird to buy into a collector's edition of a game and to have it just have like a CD key in there or something. That's a bit odd. It's just, and I think again it comes down to being accustomed to having that physical media in there, for so long, that nowadays, and it's becoming more and more, something that happens with collector's editions. You buy it, and instead of physical media, they'll even come with steel books. They'll even come with steel books that don't have a game in them, like, which is really, really, really weird. I don't know why. That doesn't make sense. But it's physical media is going away. The other part of it is there are still a good chunk of people in the world that don't have internet at all or fast internet. And for those people, physical media is always going to be a necessity, because trying to download games, especially in today's realm of large games, they either can't do it or it will take for flippin' ever because of how slow their internet is. So there's a number of reasons that factor into why consoles have been so slow to transition into the fully digital realm of video games. But it's coming. It's inevitable. It'll happen. And just like the way PC gaming has done it, and just like how, TV shows and movies have gone, so significantly digital. I mean, you can still find physical copies, but dude, who still goes out and buys like physical copies almost anymore? I mean, it's the same kind of notion, basically people that don't have internet, or real slow internet and stuff like that. That's about it. most people just collect their movies and stuff in digital libraries anymore. So this is the process. This is technological evolution here. And eventually, the physical realm of gaming will be non-existent. It's been a slow transition in the side of the console stuff, but it's coming, man, and people have to be ready for it. But beginning of next year, Best Buy, no more physical media for TV shows and movies. Get ready for it. Ubisoft details their plans for Activision Blizzard games. Let's we're gonna keep all this for the end. How about that? We'll talk about the Microsoft deal completion and Ubisoft, how they're planning on rolling out their side of this deal and everything. Okay, we'll do all that at the end. Let's take a look at this real quick. This game is called Chance of Sonar. Let's see what this is. One of my friends has this on their wish list. Bro, I think I've seen this too. I have seen this. It's beautiful. I love this art style, dude. Interesting. Apparently, this game is like popping off right now. 98% positive, over 2,000 reviews. Came out on September 5th. There was an article that came up, but we couldn't read the whole thing, so I just figured I would bring it up. It's got an 84 on Metacritic. That is a really, really good score on Metacritic, dude. Let's go there real quick. See what user reviews. Dude, user reviews are at a 9.2 as well. Yo. That's actually insane. Really, really nice. If you're into some adventure, single player adventure puzzle stuff and indie dev stuff too, man, this might be a play for you. This game's looking really good right now. If anybody needed it, there's your link. Interesting. PlayStation Plus next free download is one of the best video games ever made. Talking about Disco Elysium, baby. um, if you have a subscription to PS Plus Extra or Premium, then you have access to one of the best video games ever made. It's a bold claim, but Disco Elysium is universally acclaimed for being a supremely clever RPG. Dude, it is a banger. This flipping game is so good. It is really, really good. We played through this game last year, and I played it on hardcore, um, hardest difficulty, and didn't ingest any substances either. So it was a wild run. It was a lot of fun though, man. And I don't normally dive into games that don't have, this is a very story rich kind of game. Choices matter, and you have stats and well, you've got like checks basically. You've got dice roll checks and things like that, and you've got some stats in the game that help get some different kinds of better rolls occasionally and stuff, which is where some of the substances you can use like alcohol or stuff like that can come into play of helping sometimes, which is, I just gave myself a bit more of a handicap in the game. But usually whenever I play games like that, I need a little bit of something like combat or something to keep me engaged. That game is so good. Just the entire world, all the writing, the music, the being immersed and trying to figure out what's going on, and there's all kinds of stuff to explore and find and figure out, and lots of good puzzles and stuff like that. It's a very very thought provoking game, and it's funny. It's very clever, and I had a blast with it. It's such a good title. Unfortunately, RNG based. Yeah, yeah, it is very RNG based. Yeah. Pinky. Yeah. So, unfortunately, the developer behind the game was it EAUM. Is that who it is? Did I get that right? Where's do they talk about the dev? They don't. Here, let me pull this up. There's a bit of controversy going on. I'll finish reading this article, but Disco Elysium, EAUM, ZAUM. My bad. ZAUM. Yeah, there's a bit of controversy going on right now surrounding the original, like the core creators of this universe in this game. They've been ousted from this developer now, and it basically had to do with the fact that uh, the larger company behind them wanted to start monetizing everything pretty heavily that was being done moving forward. These original creators were not on board with it. They didn't like it, and the company said, "See you later." And so now these original creators of Disco Elysium and this universe and everything, because there are texts behind it and stuff like that, they're fighting for the rights of the gaming rights and everything, so they can continue to make more of this content. And I would love to see it. I would love to see more Disco Elysium stuff, but it's going to be probably a pretty long and arduous process for them to go through and try and get the rights to this game out from underneath the ZAUM. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But if you need a link, dude, this game is so flipping good, and it'll go on sale quite often. Actually, if you get it on like Steam or something, this game will go on sale quite often for a pretty nice price. And I mean, dude, look at the Metacritic score on this game. It's a 97. It's a 97. This game is so good, dude. If you need it, here you go. Again, we've done our entire playthrough of it. You can find there's a playlist on the Twitch channel here in the collections that will have the entire playthrough of the game, as well as on the YouTube channel also, if you want to take a look at how our playthrough went and everything. As well as if you look, I've got a playlist on both sites that is video gaming endings, where I always show kind of the ending we got for every game we played, and I give my initial reaction, breakdown of pros and cons of games and stuff whenever I finish playing them, and that'll be on both sites as well if you're interested. But this game, really good. Check out. Let's see. Yeah, it is, and I mean this without a whiff of hyperbole, a masterpiece. You need to play this game. This version of the game is definitive and features several quality of life updates for PlayStation. Disco Elysium is a tough game to pigeonhole. On the face of things, it's an RPG that uses dice rolls and character building, similar to a Dungeons and Dragons title. Instead of dungeons and indeed dragons, we have two cops attempting to solve cases in a bleak landscape. Pretty much everything happens via conversations or skill checks, and much like D&D, anything can happen. If you love talking your way into or out of trouble, like in recent smash hit Baldur's Gate 3, you're going to have a blast. It is such a good game. No, shut up. For example, failing to roll to put on your trousers right at the start of the game can end in a fatal mishap. Disco Elysium is at turns funny, but also somber. Deals with heavy topics using a light touch. Our heroes are unlikely, neither of them particularly successful in life. Both have flaws that the game will examine in a variety of ways. up to you how you build out your character, putting points into certain traits that you will sometimes interact with directly to sense changes in the storyline or the world. This surreal and utterly unique game deserves to be played by everyone. And now there's a chance you can play it for free via PlayStation Plus. That's not free. You pay for a subscription, by the way, but you'll walk away from this one knowing that what you experienced will likely never be beaten. This game's an incredible experience. It really is. And like I said before, the writing in the game is so good, which is what has allowed them to present so many highlights in the game of different, emotions. You've got there's a lot of lightheartedness, a lot of funny stuff, but it does present a lot of, you know, real life kind of deep topics that are handled in a very uh good way. You know what I mean? It's approached in a very good manner because the writing in the game is so good. TF2 Block Team Fortress 2 update released. Bro, I'm not reading all these. Here, linked. I'm not reading all these, but there's a bunch of TF2 updates right here for you. All right. Looks like there's a bunch of zombie stuff. Bunch of zombies. But there you go. Looks like they did there's even a full article. Hold on. Major changes right here as well. There's a link at the bottom of the one that I linked. Yeah. So, Team Fortress 2 update. I'm not reading all that off, dude. I'm sorry. If you're into TF2, like I know some of you are, and you're not up to date on what the new patch has, then there's your link. Check it out. Valve warns Counter-Strike 2 players use AMD's anti-lag feature get banned. AMD users should think twice before installing driver update 23.10.1. Wow. Okay. Some Counter-Strike 2 players are receiving VAC bans after installing the latest AMD driver update. And Valve says the culprit is an anti-lag feature. Driver update 23.10.1 released earlier this week fixed stuttering and crash issues with CS2 and added driver support for Assassin's Creed Mirage, Forza Motorsport, and the Lords of the Fallen. Bro, both of these games are not doing great right now. Apparently lots of issues. Have you guys seen the Lords of the Fallen crap? Look at this, dude. Not only did they like come out in the first place, like right on release of this game and go, yo, if you're playing this on Xbox, sorry, but it's gonna be kind of crap. But it apparently is kind of trash on PC as well. 51% of 4,600 reviews. Okay, Pinky word, dude. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not looking good, man. People have had issues with all kinds of different um performance issues. Looks like they're trying to help each other out in here now with things that might have helped them get through some of the issues. Um Download the latest NVIDIA driver now. Went from unplayable 20 frames with lots of stutters to mostly rock solid 60 frames. Toggling on DLSS and setting it to quality. Sharpness 0.50 also helped. Performance definitely needs fine tuning. There have been a lot of performance issues. But like even the critic reviews were like, meh. It's a pretty basic Souls-like game. It doesn't really shine anywhere, you know. They didn't even talk about any of the like performance issues or anything in the critic reviews. If you look at Metacritic, right? Um they don't have the Metacritic up here, okay. Metacritic's basically talking about how it's like it's got some cool stuff in there, but it's really nothing fantastic. A lot of the critic reviews are saying that kind of thing. So, um I think the and that was across PC and PS5. Check it out real quick. 73 on PS5, 76 on PC. Xbox to be determined. You know, it's not a bad score, you know. Aussie Orange VR. What up, friendo? How you doing, buddy? Happy Saturday. So, I don't think it's a bad game. I think it definitely needs some polish still, probably from what I'm seeing from a lot of reviews. But just from the critic reviews, they don't normally, like we'll go with something closer to what the average is here. This is a PC review. Even though it's much better than the first title of the same name, like its previous iteration, Lords of the Fallen struggles to emulate the delicate recipe that made Souls such a success. All the ingredients are there. It even brings its share of interesting new features to distinguish itself from its models, but the result falls a little short of expectations. The gameplay is a little disconcerting. The difficulty can very quickly turn into intense frustration due to some ill-advised balancing. It's all the more of a shame given that the game has the makings of a great title. In terms of production and content, it's best reserved for fans of the genre who aren't afraid of all that. Eurogamer Poland, Lords of the Fallen is a solid Souls-like, if at times a bit too safe. Hexworks' game neatly combines key elements of Dark Souls, Sekiro, and even Bloodborne, mixing it all in a well-designed world with a rich story and few original ideas. However, the game doesn't offer any major innovations, unlikely to be a must-have for fans of the genre. I think that this would be my recommendation for people right now. If Lords of the Fallen looks interesting to you, give it a little bit of time. It seems like a game that they need a little bit of time to work on getting polished up a little bit more. And if you're interested in playing a game similar to this, like a Souls-like game, go find Lies of P, dude. Go play Lies of P for now. That's what I would say if you haven't already. Lies of P is apparently really, really solid, dude. Really, really good Souls-like. It they've already announced they're coming out with an expansion for it and everything. This game is supposed to be very solid. It played very well on release. It's got great content. It's basically like a lot of people have basically been expressing like spiritual successor of like Bloodborne in a way, even though it's not a FromSoft game. So if I think currently right now you were really looking forward to Lords of the Fallen, but it's not feeling good for you, I think it could potentially be a decent game, but the developer needs to get their crap in order, get the game fixed up a little bit more. It sounds like it might need a little bit of balancing. It definitely needs some polishing. It needs some love on the performance side for sure, which sucks. Hate seeing that, dude. Go play Lies of P for now. This game deserves the love, dude, for sure. Lies of P deserves it. It came out. It felt good. This is a company that hasn't traditionally done this kind of game. Lies of P. Who was that? What's the name of that company? I can't flip and remember the name of the dev right now. Lies of P was NeoWiz, dude, NeoWiz. And it's great to see a company come out with something that they haven't ever really done before, and to do it good, do it right. You know what I mean? So and it's on Game Pass. So if you're worried about spending too much money on it or whatever, it's on Game Pass as well. Don't forget that. But I think that this is the kind of title that we want to see. I honestly, I wouldn't feel bad about spending money on this title. This isn't one of those titles I would normally go, yeah, probably play it on subscription service. I'm just letting people know it's out there on subscription service if you already have Game Pass, or if maybe this is a bit out of your price range right now or something like that. But I think the quality of this game is there, and I think the developer deserves, you know what I mean, to make some money off of this game, bringing a quality, polished product to the table on release, and good content too. So if you're having some struggles right now with Lords of the Fallen, this might be your jam. All right. um, back to this though. Um, so what we were talking about that got me off on that kind of other topic there. Valve is warning CS2 players that if you use their AMD's anti-lag feature, you're going to get banned right now. So apparently, the new driver update from AMD 23.10.1 also added CS2 support for anti-lag plus, AMD's NVIDIA Reflex equivalent tech that lowers input latency. Following a Reddit thread that raised the alarm about inexplicable bans among AMD users, the official CS2 Twitter account confirmed the cause and issued a statement advising all AMD users to turn off anti-lag plus until the issue is fixed. Quote, if you are an AMD customer and play CS2, do not enable anti-lag plus. Any tampering with CS code will result in a VAC ban, the post reads. Once AMD ships an update, we can do the work of identifying affected users and reversing their ban. Anti-lag plus, which is only supported in the RX 7000 series cards and newer, minimizes input lag by, quote, applying frame alignment with the game code itself, allowing for a better frame syncing, which leads to even lower latency and great gaming experiences, according to AMD's website. Sounds like the way anti-lag injects itself into a game's code, detouring engine DLL functions, as Valve says, is interpreted as unauthorized tampering and triggers a VAC ban. Valve's statement suggests it does not plan to adjust VAC on its end to allow for anti-lag plus and will instead wait for AMD to issue a patch. If you've already been banned as a result of anti-lag plus, Valve says it will begin reversing bans once the driver issue is resolved. There's no indication that using NVIDIA Reflex, which has been officially supported since CS2's launch 2 weeks ago, carries any risk of a ban. AMD has yet to comment on the situation or give a timeline for a potential update, but I expect it's a high priority. Yeah, probably so. There's been a a lot of controversy about this CS2 stuff. There've been a lot of fans of CS:GO that aren't real thrilled with the evolution of CS2 taking over. So we'll keep paying attention and seeing how people grab onto CS2 as it moves forward and everything. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's always a bit of a hard thing for people to adapt to. CS:GO had been, I mean, bro, that game had been around forever, and people loved that game. So it's always a bit of a struggle, I think, if a game goes away and gets this type of situation where it evolved. Yeah, so CS:GO's gone. They got changed over into CS2. And same thing with this is not the same situation, but I'm going to give you an example. Overwatch 1 evolving into Overwatch 2, right? Um, it's not the same exact thing, so don't get me wrong. There are different reasonings for why people hate Overwatch 2 as opposed to, what Overwatch 1 was. I think that the Counter-Strike issue is just a little bit of a people needing to adapt a little bit to what Counter-Strike is now as a more modern game. It had been, the same thing for so long. It was a very old game. And they apparently need to get some of the new maps put in. They need a little bit of getting some of that stuff done for CS2, but I think people will adapt and the ratings will go up on it a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. But if you play CS2 right now, turn off your AMD what do they call it? Anti-lag? I can't remember what they call that new anti-lag plus. Yeah. Yeah, anti-lag plus. Turn that off for now, man, so you don't get a ban. Rocket League will remove player-to-player item trades in December. This is wild, dude. This has always been part of, their and you know why they're doing this? To make more money. Cuz look who's doing it, dude. Right? So this company, which has recently fired 16% of their workforce, 850 give or take employees. They have raised prices of their premium currency in Fortnite. They are now removing the ability for players in Rocket League to trade, which has always been part of this game. Why would they do that? Because it means if you can't trade for items for people that have the items you want, you've got to try to buy into them, right? So that's exactly why Epic's doing this. So more and more and more, we're seeing Epic turn into that company that it's not about taking care of their employees. It's not about taking care of, their consumer and their fan base and the people that are, the community of their games. It's about how can we wring money out of people, right? So Rocket League will remove player to player item trades in December. It cited the policies of parent company Epic Games. Rocket League's player-to-player trading is going away. Developer Psyonix announced Tuesday that pure transactions will be removed from the title on December 5th at 4 p.m. PST. The beloved feature added a game outside the game element as players sought trade partners, often using third-party websites to find suitable swaps. Psyonix says it will consider those sites fraudulent moving forward. Psyonix wrote that the decision was based on parent company Epic Games' cosmetics policies, which ban sales and only allow in-game trades. We're making this change to align with Epic's overall approach to game cosmetics and item shop policies, where items aren't tradable, transferable, or sellable. Am I confused at the wording here or what? Psyonix wrote that the decision was based on parent company Epic Games' cosmetic policies, which bans sales and only allows in-game trades. And then this quote, we're making this change to align with Epic's overall approach to game cosmetics and item shop policies where items aren't tradable, transferable, or sellable. Isn't that a contrasting couple of statements there? You think it's just a misprint or something? Thought I was going crazy for a second. Yeah, yeah. Ban trades and only allow sells. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Good job, Engadget. I was tripping, dog. I was like, man, am I reading this wrong or something? It was just like, I was like, is something not computing? Am I that three head? Am I that low on coffee right now? Do I need to take a sip of my keyboard? You know what I'm saying? I was wilding out right there, dude. I didn't know what was going on. Thanks, dude. Yeah. Uh, so the fan response on social media was swift and fierce. They really want this game to die, huh? Wrote D Shadow 10 on Reddit. This is absolute BS. Added Muskrat at work. Still zero communication or care for the community at all. What did I say whenever I first started reading this article? You know what I mean? Just a cash grab at this point. Yep. All they care about is selling product and items and no care at all for the health of gameplay or the community. Boom. Dude, what do we talk about all the time, right? All the time about these developers and the scummy crap they do. You know, here's what's funny. How long, dude? When did Rocket League? This is what's funny. You guys want to talk about something? When did Rocket League go to Epic? Nope. May of 2019. May of 2019. Right? And it became free to play on Epic on in September of 2020. So let's say at least 3 years ago. At the least 3 years ago, right? So at the least 3 years ago, this game hit Epic. So the entire past 3 years, it's been on Epic. It's been this way. And now all of a sudden, right? Now all of a sudden, they need to change their policies to fit with Epic's scheme, right? I mean, it's quite obvious what's going on here. Yeah. Bro, Epic is looking real gross right now. Really gross. Like utterly disgusting. Everything that's going on with Epic is I mean, I'm starting to get like that EA gag reflex. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about? That EA gag reflex where like whenever I start saying their name, I like want to start throwing up. You know what I mean? That's what Epic's making me feel like. You guys know. I think you know this kind of thing. A New Vancouver-based EA studio. EA. Sorry, guys. It's so hard to say that. Yeah, like that, but with Epic. You know. Users on X, formerly Twitter, weren't exactly thrilled either. Thank God every day that I'm at least not this brain dead. This isn't showing up, but Psyonix removed loot boxes from Rocket League in 2019 after many of the game's most prominent companies agreed to disclose the odds of receiving rare items. The not quite loot boxes returned later that year with a more transparent design. At the time, Psyonix and Epic said items from post-game drops were still tradable. Epic Games, which bought Psyonix in 2019, recently laid off 16% of its workforce. Quote, this was a survival move that was necessary, CEO Tim Sweeney said of the company's financial problems, which began over the summer. In response, the Fortnite creator tweaked pricing for Unreal Engine for non-gaming uses, increased their in-game their currency for Fortnite. They've basically wrecked the entire what is it? Mediatonic. Isn't that the dev behind Fall Guys? Most of the Fall Guys team is just gone now. But do you think Tim Sweeney took a pay cut to try and save people's jobs? Probably not. A dude worth billions. You know what I mean? Um, look, I'll link you guys a great article that we came across the other day. An individual Mike Drucker, dude. That name will forever be etched in my head. There's an individual named Mike Drucker that wrote this article from oh dude, what website was this? Here, I'll pull it up right now. So there's this amazing parody that was written by Mike Drucker of on the Gamer website, and it is so flipping good, dude. It's so good. So this is just like a nice little um clip of one of the news segments where we came across this article, and it's like a parody of all these different video gaming developers and publishers, and just firing off all their employees instead of trying to take care of their employees and stuff. It's a because I've talked about it a ton here lately, and then we come across this article. It was so good to read this. Can't recommend it enough. It's linked there in the chat, dude. It it's so sad to see what these industry leaders do all the time, man. And this is brutal, bro. This is a huge part of what this community has always loved about this game, Rocket League, and Epic's gonna wreck it, dude. Feels bad. Not surprised, but feels bad. Fran Drescher says studio's latest strike move shocked her. So disrespectful. SAG-AFTRA president Fran Drescher doesn't understand the AMPTP, walking away from negotiations with the Actors Guild. I love seeing Fran Drescher up here doing work, man. On Wednesday, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which includes major Hollywood studios and streamers like Warner Brothers, Discovery, Netflix, Disney, and more, decided to walk away from negotiations with SAG-AFTRA, further jeopardizing the 2024 film and television slate rather than cut a deal with the Actors Guild. The decision was a puzzling one for those of us on the outside, especially given the recent deal struck with the Writers Guild. And apparently it was just as confusing for those on the inside, according to SAG-AFTRA president Fran Drescher. Quote, it really came as a shock to me because what does that exactly mean, and why would you walk away from the table? It's not like we're asking for anything that's so outrageous, the nanny star said in an interview with Today on Friday. It's so wrong. It's so unfair that they walked out of the meeting. So disrespectful. When I was there, I mean, they talk to you. They really don't want to hear what you have to say or why you're saying it. According to NBC's Chloe Mellis, Drescher claimed that she was talked over and couldn't get a word in edgewise. SAG-AFTRA National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator Duncan Crabtree Ireland, on the other hand, described the talks as very candid, very direct, intense at times, but in a respectful sort of way. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, however, he similarly described the studio's decision to walk away as mystifying. He said, I think that's a completely wrong-headed decision. No way to move this forward without talking. It took them so long to get back to the table in the first place. It's really disappointing that after this amount of time, they would just walk away again. So, I'll let you read the rest of this if you want. That's the gist of what this has for us. So wait, what? Remind you what happened at your work. Got to talk for printing slowly because we intentionally slow down the speed to have more quality. Right. We have time to afford it. But the owner didn't like seeing the printing speed numbers go down. Yeah, because numbers. Yep. That's that whole you see it so often, dude, in businesses. Those people at the top that really have no idea what the day to day is and what it means to have quality over quantity. You know what I mean? And do quality work. I get business is a business. You don't want to be like not pushing out. You got to meet numbers. You got to meet quotas. And so I get that, but there's something to be said for quality, dude. You know, and no matter what industry you're in, your quality products, man. Yeah. This is going to affect the gaming industry as well. They're in the midst of trying to get a new deal struck with the gaming industry, and this is going to affect the gaming industry as well, probably. So I think that that's what people have to take away here. I thought this was going to talk more about the gaming industry stuff, and it's not. But this all is SAG-AFTRA is literally, taking care of negotiations for all of the people in the entertainment industry that do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and a lot of their contracts are up. The negotiations are ongoing. A lot of these big studios don't want to pay them what they should be paying them. And it means there's going to be a lull probably in production of all forms of entertainment. So just be ready for it. Gaming included. Gaming included. CD Projekt Red used AI to include a deceased actor's voice in Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. CDPR worked with Respeecher to recreate the voice of, is it Milgos Reksik, who voiced a Victor Vector in Polish. That's pretty sick, dude. So CDPR confirmed it used AI voice cloning software to reconstruct the voice of a deceased actor for its Phantom Liberty DLC. Actor Milgos Reksik, I probably butchered that. I'm so sorry. Voiced the character of Victor Vector in the Polish version of the game and would have been tapped to reprise the role for the DLC, which came out last month, but he passed in 2021 before its production. The developer told Bloomberg it decided to go this route as a way to pay tribute to his wonderful performance and was given permission to do so by his family. Yeah, that's dope, dude. That's great. Yeah, instead of replacing Reksik outright, CDPR worked with Respeecher, the Ukraine-based voice tech company known for de-aging Mark Hamill's voice in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett to create a young Luke Skywalker. Another actor was hired to speak the new lines, and Respeecher software reworked them into Reksik's voice. CDPR localization director Mikolaj Sved told Bloomberg Reksik, who Zved described as one of the best Polish voice talents, had also voiced major roles in the Witcher series. AI has become a contentious topic in the entertainment industry, and striking Hollywood actors are currently fighting for more protections around the use of their likenesses, among other things. In September, SAG-AFTRA voted in favor of a strike authorization for video game actors, two whose job could be threatened by studios' increasing reliance on AI. Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter, recently slammed the practice of emulating. What's up, Sue? Slammed the practice of emulating deceased actors using AI, saying that they cannot consent. In this case, CD Projekt Red says Reksik's family was very supportive. Yeah, that's a big difference, right? So yeah, you've got to. This is always going to be a thing here. And like whenever I first found this article, this is what I was talking about. This type of technology and technology as a whole, in most cases, is there have been ways that people will always find to use it in ways of good and in ways of bad, right? And this kind of hits on that notion a little bit. And this is one of the things that I was wanting to see, and I'm so glad that CDPR got approval from the family of the deceased individual to go ahead and utilize the technology to reuse their voice for the DLC as well. And I think that's a great way to pay tribute and honor somebody that was a part of a project in the first place, as long as their family is supportive of that venture, right? But there's always going to be the case where people are going to use this kind of technology for bad as well. It could be to emulate people in various forms and fashions that don't give consent or don't approve of that emulation, whether it be deceased people or just emulating people that are even alive for some form or fashion. And it's a very kind of disturbing thing where we're getting with technology and it allowing people to do that kind of thing, right? So it's I think that, we've always had to take the good with the bad in the ways that in which people use technology, and this is just a huge evolution in technology that we're having to really flesh out and be very careful with the ways in which we are implementing it and allowing people to utilize it, right? And be very careful about that. Right. Yeah, soup. Yep. Pinky does a lot of messing with AI stuff too. Uh, so yeah, yep. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get across to people is that, I mean, you could literally just, you know, there are many different ways. And I'm not going to give people examples because I don't want to be putting thoughts and things out there but you can emulate all kinds of people's voices, uh, you know, to be utilized in different ways. It's a very, very sketchy, slippery slope, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Soup. Yeah. Any way in which technology has ever been able to be used for good, people have found ways to use it for bad as well. And this is no exception to that rule. That's why we got to be careful with it. This gorgeous looking game lets you control a colony of photorealistic ants. It's like Pikmin, but, real. What is this, dude? The world of ants is a mysterious one as we're still learning new stuff about the most populous insect on Earth. Soon we'll be able to get a more hands on approach with everyone's favorite picnic ruiners. Why ruiners, dude? Feels like they're just trying to engage and enjoy in the same thing that we're doing, which is just hanging out and eating food and getting fat. You know what I mean? They just want to be a part of the program. You know, I don't think they're trying to ruin anything. You know, thanks to the forthcoming insect sim Empire of the Ants. The game is based on the hit sci-fi book series and has you controlling a heroic ant to protect your massive colony. Publisher Microids and developer Tower 5 just dropped a trailer, and these are perhaps the most photorealistic ants ever seen in a video game. As a matter of fact, the whole trailer is teeming with eye candy, which makes sense given the title was built using Epic Games' powerful Unreal Engine 5. Plus, it's not just one or two ants on screen, as in-game footage shows hundreds of little buggers doing their thing, complete with a photorealistic forest down to the pebbles and dirt on the floor. Well, it's not giving me full screen, so we'll just watch it like this, but let's see this. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's kind of insane. Unreal Engine 5 is so dope, dude. Yo, Grounded's about to get insane, Pinky. Bro. Yo, Soup, how you been doing? Friendo, how's your weekend going so far? Grounded 2 win? Dude, finishing Grounded 1 win. Oh, bro, Praying Mantis? Sick. Praying Mantis is terrifying, bro. Yo, that looks wild, man. As for gameplay, the devs liken it to a real-time strategy title with some third-person adventuring peppered throughout. Makers say that strategy planning, exploration, combat skills, but most of all, setting up local wildlife alliances will be necessary to survive the many challenges awaiting. Developers tout scalable difficulty levels, nice, to suit players of varying skill, day-night cycle, and gameplay that changes depending on the season. Each season will present players with different attributes, adding some light RPG elements, impacting speed, resistance, buffs, and more, according to an email sent to Engadget. No release date yet, other than sometime in next year. Games coming to both PC and unnamed consoles, likely PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Publisher Microids previously released a smaller scale adaptation of Empire of Ants back in 2000. Interesting. Yo, that looks really, really good. That's crazy, dude. Neat. All right, we're gonna cover both these things. These last two things I have here are closely related. Has to do with Microsoft finally closing and becoming the owners of Activision Blizzard. And the following article is going to address how Ubisoft is planning to roll out. Whew, sorry. Their side of this deal, which is basically having the streaming, the cloud gaming rights to the Activision Blizzard titles over the next 15 years, and how they're going to roll out that entire segment for themselves. So, um, it, Microsoft has completed the $69 billion takeover of Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard. Um, it is finally completed. Finally, we've been waiting such a long time. We found this earlier, and the reason I already have this highlighted is because the one thing I've been saying since the beginning of, I always thought this was going to finally happen. Since this was announced at the beginning of last year, I thought that Microsoft would fully be able to acquire Activision Blizzard. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I did think it would come to fruition for them. My big thing was Activision Blizzard has had a lot of issues, right? Um, over the past 5 to 10 years, and a lot of internal bad mismanagement, horrible culture stuff. And who's the one person that's been at the top of that the entire time? Bobby Kotick. The CEO of Activision Blizzard has been there the entire flipping time. All these other people have been fired. All these other people have been let go. But the one person that's been there, the head of the company, that they haven't been able to get rid of amid all this mismanagement and everything, that has persisted, Bobby Kotick. And for me, one of the main things I've said was I think that Microsoft could turn Activision Blizzard, time will tell. Microsoft could turn Activision Blizzard into a respectable company again. But it would need to start with getting rid of Bobby Kotick. I've been saying that ever since the announcement of this agreement going down at the beginning of last year. And I can't tell you how happy it made me whenever I first found this article today to see this highlighted paragraph right here, where Microsoft has announced that Bobby Kotick will be stepping down at the end of 2023. But let's read this. Microsoft has completed its $69 billion takeover of Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard in the gaming industry's biggest deal ever. Comes as Microsoft, which owns the Xbox gaming console, was given the green light for the global deal after UK regulators approved it. The Competition and Markets Authority said its concerns had been addressed after it blocked the original bid. Microsoft's, and what this came down to is what we're going to talk about next in the Ubisoft deal. Basically, Ubisoft got 15 years worth of cloud gaming rights for all the Activision Blizzard content. All the content made by Activision Blizzard over the next 15 years, right? Yeah. Yo, Psych, what up, dude? Sacrificed himself. He got pushed out. Thank God. So Microsoft's Phil Spencer said securing Activision was incredible. Following the announcement of the deal, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick confirmed in a letter to staff he would step down at the end of 2023. Thank God. I have long said that I am fully committed to helping with the transition. He said Phil Spencer and I both look forward to working together on a smooth integration for our teams and players. Despite concerns from rivals such as PlayStation maker Sony and regulators over competition in the gaming industry, Mr. Spencer, who is chief executive of Microsoft Gaming, sought to reassure gamers. Whether you play on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, or PC, or mobile, you are welcome here and will remain welcome, even if Xbox isn't where you play your favorite franchise, Mr. Spencer said in a statement following the takeover. Because when everyone plays, we all win. We believe our news today will unlock a world of possibilities for more ways to play. Preserve prices. Under the reworked deal, Microsoft has handed the rights to distribute Activision's games on consoles and PCs over the cloud to French video game publisher Ubisoft. But while a concession has been made, Microsoft will now control games such as Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush, just to name a few, that will provide the firm with huge revenues. The portfolio they are pulling out of this acquisition is insanely massive. Whether it be games that are still running, games that are in development, and games that have just been sitting there waiting to be revamped or brought back into modern gaming. They have so much on the table to work with just out of this acquisition. It's actually insane. The CMA said the revised deal would preserve competitive prices in the gaming industry and provide more choice and better services. Despite approving the takeover, the watchdog criticized Microsoft's conduct over the near 2-year battle. Quote, businesses and their advisors should be in no doubt that the tactics employed by Microsoft are no way to engage with the CMA, said Chief Executive Sarah Cardell. Microsoft had the chance to restructure during our initial investigation, but instead continued to insist on a package of measures that we told them simply wouldn't work. Dragging out proceedings in this way only wastes time and money. After the competition watchdog blocked the takeover earlier this year, Microsoft's president Brad Smith hit out at the CMA's decision, which it said was bad for Britain and contradicted the ambitions of the UK to become an attractive country to build technology businesses. It has proved controversial and received a mixed response from regulators around the world, but has already been passed by regulators in the European Union. The U.S. competition watchdog recently saw its attempt to pause the purchase rejected by the courts. But the CMA's Miss Cardell said with the sale of Activision's cloud streaming rights to Ubi, which makes Assassin's Creed, we've made sure Microsoft can't have a stranglehold over this important and rapidly developing market. Quote, we were clear that this deal couldn't go ahead because it would have harmed competition and that would have been bad for UK gamers, she added. We take our decisions free from political influence and we won't be swayed by corporate lobbying. Nice. Great quote. Final hurdle crossed. Mr. Smith said Microsoft was grateful for the CMA's thorough review and decision. Microsoft is paying cash for Activision at a premium price of $95 per share, meaning Mr. Bobby Kotick, Activision's outgoing chief executive, is set for a $400 million payday. That feels bad. With Chairman Brian Kelly earning $100 million based on the shares they own. Under the restructured agreement, Microsoft has agreed to transfer the rights to stream Activision games from the cloud to Ubi for 15 years outside the European Economic Area. This includes EU countries as well as Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway. After the 15 years are up, Ubi will no longer hold the cloud gaming rights for Activision's content, but it is understood the regulator believes the time span will see rivals become established for the cloud gaming market to be more competitive. The deal with Activision also means Microsoft will own its studio solely purposed for mobile games, with hopes of expanding on the successes of titles such as Candy Crush. The takeover further cements Microsoft as a video gaming giant and could catapult it ahead of Nintendo to become the third biggest player in the industry behind Sony, the owner of the PlayStation console and market leader Tencent. Sony strongly opposed this deal over concerns that big Activision titles like Call of Duty would become Xbox exclusives over time. PlayStation currently outsells Microsoft Xbox, but like all entertainment platforms, the key to success is access to the best content, though Sony is also not averse to buying up successful studios. Yep, it's done. If you need more out of there, here, I'll link it. Syke, how's your weekend going, buddy? What's up, dude? And this is basically a little bit more on the Ubisoft side. Excuse me, Ubisoft side of things. We already talked about that. Going great, brother. Going great. It's good to see you, dude. So what does all this mean for Ubi, right? A question the company has now tried to answer. Ubi's Chris Early was part of the negotiations to make this deal happen, has stated the following. Taking on these rights allows us to bring Activision Blizzard games like Call of Duty to Ubisoft Plus, as well as license the streaming access of these games to cloud gaming companies, service providers, and console makers, meaning we're helping expand access for more players across streaming services. This includes all the Activision Blizzard games that are being distributed today and includes all the games that Activision Blizzard will release over the next 15 years. Any DLC for these games is part of this package as well. Early continued. To clarify, all the games that are coming from Activision Blizzard in the next 15 years and those games that exist now, we have those streaming rights in perpetuity. This is a big deal. Look. Yeah, bro, I'm hopeful too, man. I really am. You know, I mean, if anybody recalls, I mean, dude, we've been following this, since we found out about it, and that has been my big hope for this entire situation the entire time, right? Is for Activision Blizzard, to turn into something respectable again, where I feel comfortable playing their games again. You know, and I felt like if anybody could do that, Microsoft was a good fit. I don't expect Blizzard to become the same studio I was in love with as a youngster, dude. I that's unrealistic. I don't have that kind of expectation, right? But to have them come back into the fold is something that I respect enough to see enough change in there to want to play their games again. I would love for that to happen, you know? Bobby, help me, Bobby. Yo, how much he could do so much help, dude. You know, how much help could Bobby Kotick? How many people could Bobby Kotick help with all that 400 mil, you know? So even after the terms of the deal came to an end, we will still have those rights. Yeah, so this is the big deal. So all the games that are coming, this is what people really need to understand there. That's a lot of subs. Like 5, Pinky? This is what people really need to understand. This is the big notion behind this, right? To clarify, all the games that are coming from Activision Blizzard in the next 15 years and those games that exist now, we have those streaming rights in perpetuity. Just like so, even after the terms of this deal come to an end, we will still have those rights, and we will still be able to provide those games to people and companies throughout the world. So there are a lot of possibilities. So until those 15 years are up, Microsoft does not get their own streaming rights for their Activision Blizzard games back. Or they only get their streaming rights for the games that they make after that point, right? That's basically what that comes down to. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, friends with Bobby Kotick. Yeah, he would love having me as a friend, wouldn't he? Yeah. Um. So Ubi will be the exclusive rights holder outside of the European Economic Area. Any other service that wants to offer streaming of Activision Blizzard games will need to come to Ubi, meaning even Microsoft. Microsoft wanting to stream the games they actually own, their own Activision Blizzard games, they're going to have to pay Ubisoft for, which Ubi has to pay Microsoft lump sum upfront for these 15 years and everything. It's a weird situation, but that's the way it's working. In the European Economic Area, Microsoft has to allow any company that requests it to stream its games as part of the deal it made with the European Union to get the merger approved. Hence, Ubi does not hold the exclusive rights there. Early explained it like this. In the European Economic Area, the European Commission required Microsoft to allow cloud streaming services to let anybody who owns the games in that territory to play the Activision Blizzard games via streaming for free. For example, a company in France could come to Microsoft and say, I want to stream the gameplay of Call of Duty to people who own Call of Duty already. And Microsoft is required to license those rights for free to that company so players can stream the games they own. That's dope. It seems like Ubi's plans aren't exactly set in stone when it comes to its new treasure trove of games. Quote, our expectation is that they will be on Ubisoft Plus and that we have the rights to be able to license them individually to companies as well, Early said. We know players are excited for more games to come to Ubi, and we will take the time we need to make sure that the back end fully supports the experience we want players to have. Now that the deal is closed, the operational element can begin to kick off. This is a big deal for the industry, man. It's really, really wild. We're gonna see this really start being pushed out. There's gonna be a lot of changes happening and stuff, um, especially once the beginning of next year rolls around, which isn't that far away, right? But I think that's when we're really going to start seeing this ramp up. Now that this deal has come to an end, they're going to be, you know, putting plans into motion, into effect, and getting things rolled out. And I think the beginning of next year is when you're really going to start seeing a lot of the results of this acquisition start coming into effect. You know, that's the news, man. It was a lot of good stuff today. Pinky, thanks for the help, dude. I don't know what's up with my my search today. My browser's all wonky and stuff, but I appreciate it, buddy. Hey, everybody, it's good to see you as always. We're gonna play some games today. We'll talk about it a little bit before we get in there and start playing games. I downloaded all three that I talked about yesterday, and anybody that wants to play, we'll talk about it. Discord's not where it keeps crashing. That sucks. Weird, dude. Mine's fine. That's weird. But yeah, I mean, so we've got a few different games we talked about yesterday. We could play any or all of them. Dude, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I just want to play games, spooky games with friendos and with community members and stuff. So that's what we're gonna do today, man. We're gonna have some fun. Um it's a skill issue, right, Pinky? Wait, hold up, dog. Wait, bro. Where is that, dog? Where is that? Bro, where's the skill issue flipping emote, dog? I don't even see it. Am I tripping? Flipping psych, bro. Where's the skill issue? Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it, dude. I got it. I got it. I don't know why I couldn't see that. We have so many dang emotes, dude, from 7TV. it's a skill issue, dude. Yeah, so I don't know. You guys rock, man. Let me get some tunes going. I'll segue us out of here. We're gonna have a good day. It'll be cool. We'll have a good time. We're gonna play games, dude. Play some spooky games. Eat a bunch of food. Drink a bunch of coffee. Laugh a lot, like we do, man. It was a good news segment. I really appreciate it, everybody. As always, man. We'll do more video gaming news tomorrow, as always, man. So we're gonna go ahead and segue out of this, though. We're gonna go play some games for the rest of the day with the community. And so I don't know if anybody's been able to like come hang out with us this morning and check out the content and you're not familiar with what we do. This is the way we start off all of our streams, man. 6 days a week we're live. We always start off at roughly 6 a.m. CST CDT North American time, and we always kick it off with video gaming news, trying to stay current with what's going on in the industry, and then immediately afterwards we segue into playing video games for the rest of the day, which is what we're about to do right now. All of our previous video gaming news segments, all of our gaming playthroughs we've done, fun, wild, funny clips and highlights, just wild stuff that's happened here in the community while we're live. All that kind of stuff is on the Twitch channel as highlights, and in the YouTube channel as well, in playlists and everything. So you can go check out all that content. If you're enjoying what you're seeing that we do here in the community and the channel and everything, then I would just prompt you to come hang out with us when we are live. We got an amazing community of individuals. With gaming's obviously what brings us together. We have a great time enjoying video games together, but we got an awesome community of people, man, that are all about spreading good vibes. We laugh a lot. We have a good time, but we're always about taking care of one another, being accepting, welcoming, inclusive, and just being good peeps, man, and you know, being void of toxicity. There's enough of that crap in the world that, you know, we try to be very good about avoiding it around here, and just trying to lift people up, not drag people down, and present a place where people can come and feel safe and be a part of what we do all the time, you know. So if that seems like you're kind of jammed, then I think that you probably belong here with us, and we're always looking for more cool people to be a part of what we do. So I guess other than that, man, happy flipping Saturday. I hope everybody's weekend's going great. We're going to go ahead and transition over and go play some video games now. I'm going to run an outro, but the stream's not shutting down. It'll still be up. We're going to go play games after this, so I'm just going to run a quick outro. Other than that, man, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. We'll be back tomorrow with more video gaming news. Let's go play some games.